everyone, Mr. Peabody again, and I'm doing another one of these. I wasn't going to, but I came across this one, and this one disturbed me a bit because this woman is a teacher, an American teacher working in Australia, and we got misrepresented. So I'm going to go through this, and this is sort of painful, but bear with me.
To 12-ish. We have 3 schools in the US, but in Australia we just have 2 schools. In Australia, there are 2 sort of eating recess times, and it's much more heavily focused on the recess part of it than the eating. In the morning, there is morning tea, where you have 10 minutes to eat and then you go outside and play for 30 minutes. And then you have lunchtime, which is 10 minutes of eating time, and then 30 minutes of lunch, which is what recess is. So when they say lunch, they're not referring to the actual intake of food, they refer to going out and playing.
Okay, recess, morning tea. It's like no, it's called recess, or morning playtime. Blah blah blah. We don't refer to it as morning tea. But if she wants to call it morning tea, let her go for it. Now she's going to talk about cafeterias. I'm just going to skip ahead because basically we don't have cafeterias. I'll just play it. I'll play it.
This sort of ties back into the last one, which is that there's no cafeteria in Australian schools. So the kids eat in the classroom. Pretty much all of the kids bring their own lunch. A few kids will do lunch orders, but for the most part, kids bring their own food. And they eat in the classroom, then they go outside. It's like they're not even focused on the eating, they just want to go outside and play. And I think it's very, very fascinating that in the United States, the focus is on having this giant room where we all eat, but the kids don't go outside. Whereas in Australia, they're like, all right, you can just eat quickly in the classroom and then go out and play for 30 minutes. So they get to play for an hour every day. It's awesome. All the Australians watching this video, comment below if you know what I'm talking about. In the United States, you would call a teacher like Miss Smith or Miss Jones. But in Australia, you don't really say the last name, you just say Miss. But you don't just say Miss, you say like, Miss. It is so cute. But regardless, everyone calls you just Miss.
You tell me, would you want this woman teaching your child? No. We say the pronoun and the name. So we call Miss so-and-so, Mrs. so-and-so, or Mr. so-and-so. And if you're really special, you get Dr. so-and-so. But, we don't just say, Miss. She's making our kids look like idiots. They're not.
This one I love. This is something that is also super adorable. So during term 4 is from the beginning of October until Christmas time, and that's when it's getting hotter because summer is around Christmas. It becomes a required part of the kids' uniform that they wear a hat. This is because of something called the Sun Smart campaign to prevent skin cancer. But most schools have adopted a no hat, no play policy. So if the kids don't have their hats, they can't go out and play. And it's not just like they're wearing a baseball cap, they're wearing like a bucket hat. It is so adorable. So they have their uniform, and then during term 4, they have to wear their hat with it.
Alright, well, she mentioned in another part of this video, which I cut out, that all the children wear uniforms. In primary school, yes, they basically wear a basic uniform, but they wear their own clothes over the top. So in other words, you can wear the basic uniform and then you've got your own jacket, things like that. In private school, you wear the full uniform and a school blazer, blah blah blah. But when it comes to the hat, she's talking. The hat is so cute. They wear a bucket hat. No, don't wear a bucket hat. It's called a brimmed hat. It's a full brimmed hat. Um, Maybe you call them bucket hats, but we don't call them bucket hats. And that's to protect the kids. But that's in primary school. That's you know primary school. So you don't wear that. As you get older, you don't wear the hats. No, God.
Here is a place where Australia is just winning. They pay their teachers so well. So I'm working as a CRT, as a casual relief teacher. I go to the same school every day and I go to a different classroom in that school. It is the best setup ever. And I'm getting paid more as a casual relief teacher, which is it's a substitute. I'm getting paid more as a casual relief teacher in Australia than I did as a full-time secondary math teacher in Massachusetts, where teachers get paid the most. That is crazy town. Thank you, Australia. Whoa, let's...
Okay, I know she's worrying. But anyway, I was going to worry anyway, because she's right and she's wrong. Yes. She said casual relief teacher. That means she gets paid extra because she's casual, so she doesn't get work all the time. She's a relief teacher, so if there's no one to relieve, she doesn't work. And relief teacher, so she doesn't work all the time. She doesn't always work, and she doesn't always get paid. So she's casual, and so casual, you also don't get benefits. So you don't get holiday pay, you don't get sick pay. That's the way casual works. So on up front, is she getting paid more? Yes, quite a bit more. Usually about, depends on what it is, but usually about 50% more. But you don't get the benefits on the back side of that, which would, in the long run, actually add up to more. So she's right in one respect, wrong on the other respect. But as I said, she's a casual relief teacher. So basically, she gets all the time off she wants. She can, as a casual relief teacher, she can pick and choose which school she goes to, what classes she teaches, so she can do whatever she likes. But as a secondary school maths teacher in Massachusetts, I think she said, she was getting paid less. It doesn't surprise me. I wouldn't want her teaching me maths or anybody else. See how she goes. But no, this is her special time.
Pause this video and do an Instagram shout out of the day. Every week I shout out one person that has commented on my Instagram in the past week, and today that goes to Elisa Page. Elisa, give me some of your clothes, your fashion sense, and all of your tan, please. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me, and keep on shining, keep on being you. Make sure you follow me at Healthy Emmy and comment on a photo so that you can be featured in my next video.
Really?
Teachers are treated like professionals. In Australia, teachers are receiving a higher level of respect than they do in the United States. Just last year, the Board of Education added 4 professional days to the teacher work year so that teachers can go to professional learning events, they can go to seminars, they can go to workshops, and they will get paid for that day, and they'll get a CRT for that day. They could take that day and grade if they wanted to. Additionally, the structure of the buildings just suggests professionalism. The teacher's lounge is actually like a nice lounge with like an oven and all of these different kitchen appliances, and you really feel like you're in an office setting and you're treated like a professional.
It's like an office setting and you're treated like a professional. So obviously she's grouping being treated as a professional as being treated as an office worker. Yes, the teachers are treated as professionals. Why? Because they are professionals, same as they are professionals in the United States, right? You can't just walk in anywhere to any flea dump school and anything like that and get a teacher's degree and then go start teaching. No, you've got to go to university or college, and get qualified. If you just walk into anywhere else, you can get a degree as a teacher's aide. But to be a teacher, you have to be qualified. So you go to university, and you don't do it for 1 or 2 years. You do it for like 3 years, I think. I'm pretty sure it's 3.5 years. And through the whole course, you also get branched out into. You actually do practical classes, in which case you go into schools as a teacher's aide to get you used to being in the classroom and presenting a class with a curriculum. And I'm sure that it's not that different, unless this girl got her degree out of a cornflake box or something, which I'm starting to suspect.
Preppies! When I called them kindergartners, they looked at me like I had 18 heads. Meanwhile, I'm looking at them like they have 18 heads because preppies are hard. So in Australia, they call kindergartners prep. The term kindergarten ain't a thing.
I think that this woman would look at anybody that isn't her like they've got 18 heads. But we have kindergarten. Yes. Kindergarten, you put your kids into kindergarten before school. And then they go to preschool. Alright? So kindergarten is basically, it's like daycare, kindergarten sort of thing. It's the lead up to school. And then you go to preschool. So the kids go to preschool. Then they go to primary school. Then they go to secondary school. And if they go on, they go to university. But do we have kindergarten? Yes. Do we have preschool? Yes. Do we have preps? No. I don't know where she's getting her terminology from. I haven't heard it. But just shoot me now. Oh, no.
Another term that is a little bit different in Australia is maths. I knew this one because of my time in London, but in the US we shorten mathematics to just math, whereas in Australia they shorten it to maths.
Tell me, if I come up to you and said, let's do mathematics, you'd know, okay, we're going to do mathematics. If I said we're doing maths or math, doesn't it sort of mean the same thing, really? I don't understand where she's going, but she makes it so vibrant. It's like, oh, where I come from it's mathematics, but you have maths or math. It's like, same thing. Oh, God.
Some more terminology for you. In the United States, we would say 7th grade, but in Australia, they wouldn't say 7th grade, they wouldn't say 7th grader, they would say grade 7. You call yourself a grade 7, so you're not...
No, we call ourselves a year 7. We don't call ourselves a grade 7. You might have grades in primary school. You might be grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. But then, but somewhere along the lines it switches to years. So you go year 6, year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, 11, 12. Please.
Not teaching 7th graders. The toilet. In the US, going to the bathroom is like the biggest deal in the world. Teachers are so skeptical about it because the kids just want to wander the hallways all day. But in Australia, the toilet is outside, so the kids have to bring a partner to go to the toilet, and they don't use it as this big excuse to go wander the hallways because that's not what you're doing. You're just going outside to go to the toilet and then coming back. Also, yes, they use the term toilet and they don't say bathroom. So the kids will come up to you and they'll be like, can I go toilet? That's what they say. They'll say, can I go toilet? And they use the phrase, I'm busting.
Can we go to the toilet, Miss So-and-so? Yes. We say that. Is the toilet outside? No. Is it separate? Yes. It's the same. It's no difference. It's like different schools. I mean, she talks about it further down the track, but different schools have different setups. Some are one building, some are several buildings, some are spread out. It's the same thing, but she makes it like, oh, can I go toilet? It's like, no, excuse me, miss, but I need to use the toilet. You know, it's, you know, um, try.
But the teachers aren't very skeptical of it because it's not what it is in the U.
That's because the children go to the toilet and come back to the classroom. Mm. And in primary school, they do tend to send the children in pairs. They don't send them alone, or they'll send them with because especially in the younger classes, they'll actually have a teacher and a teacher's aide. So if the child needs to leave to go to the toilet, the teacher's aide will actually walk with the child to go to the toilet. Um, and that's for safety. It's not because they think the kid's going to walk the halls. It's because it's for safety for the child. But in as you get older, no, you go by yourself. Blah blah, and it's no biggie. Just ask to go to the toilet.
US, it's just using the bathroom like a normal human. Open air campuses and open air classrooms. In the United States, when you go to school, it is one building with a bunch of classrooms, unless you're at like an elite private school. I wasn't. In Australia, it's an open air campus where there are either different buildings or there are different portables, or it's a combination between the two. What is super interesting though is not only is it an open air campus where like there's the oval in the middle where all the kids play, they call it the oval, but if it is a setup where they have multiple buildings, you know, like 5 or 6 buildings that make up the school, there will be open air classrooms within those buildings. It is a fabulous way to promote collaboration, working with others, and doing away with the rigidity of education. So you'll walk into a building and there will be a bunch of groups of classes, but they aren't walled off by walls and doors. It's open, so you could collaborate with another class, talk to another teacher. We're all sort of in the same area.
She's generalizing. As you know, I went to school in the United States as well as in Australia. I've been to many schools in Australia and I've been to 2 schools in the United States. Right? Are they all in one building? Well, the 2 schools I went to in the United States, no. Schools I've been in Australia, I think out of all of them, 1 was a single building, all the rest was spread out. So don't tell me that only in Australia or only in America this happens. It depends on your landscape and everything else as to how they set up the school. So she's right off the planet. As far as the open air classrooms, you'd almost think that the classrooms had no roof. No, they've got a roof, and it's the same as in America. If the class decides that it's a nice day, let's go learn outside, you can do that. Do they offer that all the time? No. Do you do it all the time? No. But on certain occasions, if the classroom gets a bit stuffy and the class says, can we go outside, the teacher will take the class outside. It's the same in America. And as far as, you know, open air classrooms as in grouping a whole lot of classes together, it depends on the school and it depends what they're doing for that class. So yes, in some classrooms, all they're divided by is a partition. It's a concertina partition, you pull it back and you've opened up the classroom. So if they want to teach everybody in the same classes at the same year the same thing, they will open it up. You know what I mean? Oh God.
The canteen, they may not have a cafeteria, but they have a canteen. So pretty much every school has canteen, which is like a snack bar, and while the kids are out at morning tea or at lunch, they can go grab some snack bar food from the canteen. Now
she's saying the canteen like a snack bar. Yes, you can get snacks from there, but if you go to school, you either bring your own lunch or you can order it from the canteen, or you can go purchase something from the canteen. If you order it from the canteen, more than likely it gets put in a basket, brought to your classroom and delivered to you. If you don't order your lunch, you can go to the canteen and pick something up. We don't have cafeterias, so we don't pick up a tray and walk through and pick up a whole lot of stuff and sit down and eat it and everything like that. We don't have cafeterias, but we do have the canteen, and we do have lunch areas, but it's not like a strict cafeteria. You can take your lunch anywhere and eat it. And for the most part, because in an earlier part of this, she said they all sit down in the classroom and eat their lunch. No, for the most part, you don't eat in the classroom at all, except for the very, very young children. They might get them to sit in the classroom and eat, but every other child, no. You basically go where you want and eat. Same thing. If you don't want to eat in the cafeteria, you don't eat in the cafeteria. You walk outside.
When I first got here, the kids were talking about canteen, and I was like, I don't know what that is. I was like,
I'm not surprised she doesn't know what a canteen is. I'm surprised she knows where her face is.
what is a canteen? And they're like, it's a canteen. Like, in the United States, we call college what you choose to go to after high school if you so choose to go. And in Australia, they call it uni, which is short for university. So in Australia, if you go to college, you can get a diploma or a certificate, but you can't get a degree. Whereas college in the United States, you get your degree there. But in Australia, you gotta go to uni to get your degree.
Not true. You can get it. You can get a degree from a college in Australia. It's just a different level of education. It's a different way to better yourself. It's usually called a technical college, but you can get colleges in all fields, blah blah, and learn your trade and get a degree. If you want to go further than that, you have to go to university. But for the most part, you can get degrees at university, but for the most part, you get them from college. So she's sort of crossing a few wires there.
Comment below and let me know what country you are from, what country you went to school in or you are in school in. I would love to know. I love you guys. Make sure you hit subscribe. New video every Wednesday and Saturday. Be off.
See, what country you're from, and if you're that, I'm starting to wonder what planet she's from. But I will tell you this: if this woman tried to get into the university in Australia, I don't think they let her in. I really don't. So that's my thoughts on that. Sorry to be a downer, but that was just painful. Thank you for watching. Take care.